The National League North and South season is just a few days away from starting, so let's do a part 2 and look at 25 more of the biggest signings this summer. So let's start at number 25 with National League North Worksop, who signed striker Cian Harratt. Now back in 2022 at the age of 19, when Harratt impressed on loan at Port Vale, opening the scoring in the League 2 playoff final at Wembley, it looked as though he was set for a successful career in the Football League. He even got a run in the Huddersfield first team, making 15 appearances in the Championship. But despite his clear talent, there was questions over his attitude as off-the-field troubles started to follow him around. He got a 4-month ban from football for betting, has been in legal trouble due to being caught poaching and trespassing, then last year a video of him and his mates went viral throwing chairs about whilst on holiday in Ibiza. At the age of 24, Worksop has to be the club where he gets his career back on track. On to number 24, let's stick with the National League North as Chorley have announced the return of attacking midfielder Jack Hazelhurst. He spent the 23-24 season at Chorley where he was outstanding and became a big fan's favourite. He was superb technically, could create a bit of magic out of nowhere and looked some talent. Off the back of that season he got a move to League One Burton Albion, but 2 serious injuries meant he barely kicked a ball for them. Now he's back at Chorley where hopefully he can stay injury free because a fit Jack Hazelhurst is a tremendous player at this level. At number 23, let's move to the National League South as Hemel Hempstead signed striker Jake Tabor. Now he went viral about a year ago and became the hottest prospect in non-league thanks to his ridiculous goal scoring record. At 9th tier Amersham Town, he scored a whopping 107 goals in just 72 games. He was being hyped up as the next Jamie Vardy. He was doing interviews with TalkSport, was the star of a location football video which got over 200k views, and in came League 2 Swindon as he jumped up 5 divisions into the Football League. His pre-season for Swindon started off very promising with 3 goals and 2 assists in his first 2 games, but then when the season started it was clear that he wasn't quite up to the level. Now he's dropped down into the National League South where Hemel Hempstead will hope he can rediscover his scoring form. At number 22, National League South Ebbsfleet have signed a very highly rated 21-year-old forward, Ollie Box from Dartford, one of the most exciting prospects in non-league. He can play on the wing, he can play as an attacking midfielder or as a striker. Last season he was outstanding in the league below for Dartford, getting 17 goals and 9 assists, winning their Player of the Season award. He's a natural goal scorer with a huge amount of potential, and with several EFL clubs keeping tabs on him, this is an excellent signing from Ebbsfleet. On to number 21, National League North Southport have brought in 25-year-old forward Sol Solomon. He was outstanding for Marine in their promotion season, scoring 24 goals. His pace and willingness to take on players was something that defences just couldn't handle. His form that season earned him a move to the Football League with Tranmere, where he spent the last 2 years. That move hasn't worked out for him, but if he can rediscover the form he showed at Marine 3 seasons ago, this will be some signing for Southport. At number 20, newly promoted Folkestone have signed centre-back Jamie Fielding. Now, between 2021 and 2025, he was regarded as one of the best centre-backs at this level, spending 4 seasons at Tonbridge Angels, where he was always excellent. Last season, he moved to Ebbsfleet, but unfortunately, an injury-hit season meant he barely played. If he's over his injury problems, then Folkestone have got a proven top defender at this level, which for a newly promoted side is a super bit of business. On to number 19, National League North Marine have signed forward Conor McElhenney, once incredibly highly rated for Everton as a youngster, making 2 Premier League appearances. His Everton career never quite took off, but he still had some bright spells, like scoring 10 goals in 19 for Oxford in League One. His best season came in 2020 for Oldham, where he was deadly cutting in from the left, scoring 19 goals. He's a very skillful and classy player who has the quality to excel at this level. At number 18, let's stick with the theme of ex-Premier League wonder kids as South Shield signed 31-year-old midfielder Adam Campbell. At 17 years old, he became Newcastle's youngest ever player to appear in Europe as he made his debut in the Europa League. It's fair to say that he didn't quite live up to his early promise, but he still enjoyed a good career in the EFL and non-league. Just 3 years ago, he was a key player in Crawley's promotion-winning side to League One. He spent the last 2 seasons at Hartlepool, where he was very disappointing considering the fanfare and expectations when he arrived, but his move to South Shields sees him reunited with manager Mike Williamson, who got the very best out of him at Gateshead. If South Shields can get the version of Adam Campbell back that tore up League Two only 3 years ago, he should be far too good for this level. On to number 17, National League South Horsham have signed 22-year-old right-back Archie Taylor, one of the most exciting attacking fullbacks in non-league who loves getting forward and taking players on. His breakout season came for Westfields when he got a whopping 23 assists. He looked very good for Aldershot in the first half of last season, but Aldershot had a change of manager mid-season. In came John Coleman, whose focus was on shoring the defence up, and I think Taylor's attacking style didn't really fit in with Coleman's system, so he fell out of favour, but I really rate him and I think this is a great signing from Horsham. At number 16, National League North Scarborough have signed attacker Mo Federa. He spent the last few seasons at York where he never really got a chance, but on loan at Scunthorpe during their promotion season he really shined. He's got electric pace and he's very direct, so the way Scunthorpe would use him was bringing him off the bench as an impact sub against tiring defences, and that worked really well. He's a massive handful up front and I'm pretty confident he will do very well at Scarborough. At number 15, National League North Bedford have signed 32-year-old midfielder George Moncur. Now he's someone who's played the majority of his career in the Championship and League One for the likes of Barnsley, Hull, Luton and Leyton Orient. The last 2 seasons have seen him drop into non-league with Southend and Ebbsfleet, but both spells have followed a similar pattern. He started brilliantly and you could see his skill and class and that he's performed at a higher level, but he wasn't able to sustain that form, and by the end of both spells his performances had dropped off. Towards the end of last season, Ebbsfleet just loaned him out to Bedford, where he played 15 games for them and did very well, and they'll be hoping they can get the best version of George Moncur throughout the season rather than just the first quarter. On to number 14, we've got National League South Maidstone, who've signed 25-year-old winger Leon Gravata. He was released by York over the summer, where he never really got a chance, only ever played 22 minutes for them in 2 years, but last season he went on loan to National League South Horsham, where he was excellent, winning Player of the Year. That wasn't the first time he's impressed at this level either. He was very good at both Chippenham and Eastbourne. He's a pacey, tricky winger who's proven in this league, so this is a very good signing from Maidstone. At number 13, National League South Dagenham and Redbridge have signed central midfielder Archie Tamplin from Chelmsford. Now last season Chelmsford had a complete clear out. They kept only 2 senior players, and one of those 2 that they decided to keep was Archie Tamplin, which shows how highly rated he is. Only 23 and he is quality at this level, brings so much energy and legs to the midfield, and Chelmsford will be very disappointed to lose a key player to a potential promotion rival. At number 12, National League North Hednesford have signed 24-year-old attacking midfielder Jamie Cook from Halifax. Now they may just be newly promoted, but they're a very ambitious club and have made numerous big signings, so it was tough to pick just one, but I wanted to talk about Jamie Cook because I think he will really excel at this level. After the early promise he showed at Halifax, he didn't quite kick on as they'd hoped. Some of that was down to injuries, but I also think his own versatility didn't help, as he never really nailed down a clear role in the side. But 121 appearances in the National League, his work rate is exceptional, plus he can show some moments of real quality, so I'm backing him to do well at Hednesford this season. At number 11, National League North Spalding have signed midfielder Shane Byrne. 334 appearances in the National League North. The last 2 times he's played at this level he's achieved promotion both times, first with Kidderminster in 22-23 and then with Brackley in 24-25. Always one of, if not the best central midfielders in this league, very composed on the ball, has an excellent passing range and a quality addition for Spalding in their first ever season at this level. At number 10, we've got National League South Maidenhead, who've signed striker Connor Hall. Every team wants a proven goal scorer, and Connor Hall is exactly that. His last 3 seasons at this level have seen him score 20 goals for Chorley, 9 goals in 21 on loan at Brackley. Then the following season, Brackley signed him permanently, and he scored 18 goals during their promotion season. Very much a poacher who just has the habit of being in the right place at the right time, and if Maidenhead can give him the service, they've got a regular goal scorer at this level. On to number 9, we've got National League North Oxford City, who've signed attacking midfielder Scott Pollock. Now, some of you may recognise the name as he got viral recognition back in 2018 playing for YouTube side #United. That earned him a move to Northampton, where he went on to make 27 first-team appearances, but injuries meant he struggled to stay fit. In the last few seasons since dropping into non-league, he seems to have sorted his injury problems out. He scored 14 goals in 27 for Boston. He then went on to play a key role in Brackley's National League North title winning side and has proven himself to be a top player at this level. Now on to number 8, National League North Radcliffe always like to pull off some big signings, and they've brought in centre-back Tom Davies, loads of EFL experience playing for the likes of Coventry, Portsmouth, Bristol Rovers and Tranmere. He joined Chester on loan towards the end of last season and Chester fans just loved him. He came in and really helped shore up the defence. With him in the side, they won 10, drew 2 and only lost 1. Based on that loan spell, he looks as though he's a level above, so should be a brilliant signing for Radcliffe. At number 7, National League South Farnham have signed 36-year-old midfielder Sam Hutchinson, once incredibly highly rated for Chelsea, who was given his debut under Mourinho, was made captain of the Chelsea reserves and was expected to become a first-team regular. But a reoccurring knee injury completely derailed his potential, and at the age of 21 he actually announced his retirement from football. After a breakaway, he returned to have a very successful 7 years at Sheffield Wednesday, becoming a fan favourite. His most recent club was AFC Wimbledon, but due to injuries he only started 14 games in 2 years. He's an incredibly talented player, but I'm unsure how many games he will actually play for Farnham. On to number 6, National League North Morecambe have signed 27-year-old centre-back Will Smith from Halifax. Now, to take Halifax's best centre-back is a huge statement of intent. There's no doubt that he's way too good for the National League North. The issue is that he's very injury-prone. He managed only 20 starts last season. The season prior, he missed the final 3 months. If Morecambe can keep him fit, they've got the best centre-back in the division, but then there's also a good chance he could end up getting injured and missing a significant chunk of the season. At number 5, National League South Farnborough have brought in 27-year-old midfielder Tyler Frost. Now I say midfielder, but he's also capable of playing wing-back. Released by Aldershot, where he made 105 appearances in the National League for them. Aldershot have had a big rebuild over the summer. They've released 25 players, but Frost was one that fans were disappointed to see go. He's been one of their better players over the last few seasons, and for Farnborough to get him to drop down a level is a huge coup, because I think he's a bit too good for this level. Now on to number 4, National League North Macclesfield have signed goalkeeper Christian Dibble. Now despite finishing in the playoffs, the goalkeeper was a little bit of a problem position for Macclesfield last season, but with the signing of Dibble they should have no such problems, as he's been the best keeper in this league for the last 2 seasons. In 24-25 he got an incredible 23 clean sheets for Kidderminster, which was a club record. Last season he got the most clean sheets out of any keeper in the National League North, despite missing 8 games due to injury. A super keeper at this level and an excellent signing for Mac. On to number 3, National League South Chelmsford have signed 30-year-old winger Reece Brown. He's won the National League on 2 occasions, once with Sutton back in 2021, then also with Barnet in 2025, where he came up with some huge goals to help take them into the EFL. If Chelmsford can keep him fit, he is miles above this level. He tore up the National League with Barnet in that title-winning season. When you get him running with the ball, he can just twist and turn defenders all over the place. The key is trying to keep him fit, but if he wasn't so injury prone, he'd easily be played in the EFL and wouldn't be at this level. At number 2, we've got National League South Dorking signing goalkeeper Glenn Morris. He's been Gillingham's #1 keeper for the last 4 seasons. In 2 of those seasons he won their Player of the Year award. Before that he was Crawley's #1 keeper for 7 seasons. He turns 43 in December, but has proven himself to be a top EFL goalkeeper throughout his career, and for Dorking to get a keeper of his quality is a huge signing. And at number 1, National League North Harborough have signed 33-year-old striker Britt Assombalonga, at his peak one of the best strikers in the Championship. His pace and power combined with his finishing made him a nightmare to defend against. He moved to Middlesbrough for £15 million, which is still their club record transfer fee, and now he finds himself in the National League North. Where it went wrong for him was that knee injury at Nottingham Forest that ruled him out for over a year. He was never the same player when he got back and has struggled with injuries ever since. Last season he was at Barnet but was limited to sub appearances as his fitness clearly wasn't up to scratch. The positives for Harborough is that he's looked sharp in pre-season, he's been scoring goals, clearly hasn't got the pace and acceleration that he once had, but in pre-season he's shown that he can be in the right place at the right time and use his positional sense to be more of a poacher, but let's see if he can keep himself fit.